Welcome to Prana Talk TV. This is Elitom, El-amin.
And Shana Dean.
Enjoy the show.
Welcome. Hello, Elitom. How are you today?
Oh, wonderful as usual. And I know you're doing good because I can see the big glowing light coming through the screen. So it says it all.
I'm still in this beautiful home, taking care of the wildlife here and the birds and the squirrels and the little deer that come visit. So it's a really fun, beautiful time.
Right, so you got a whole community taking place.
Yeah, I feel like Snow White in the forest with all the wild animals kind of gathering around. It's really sweet.
Right. Now,
today we're talking about clothes, and I hear you have visitors.
Right. Now, clothes is a big one, especially dealing on a spiritual journey.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we use that word spiritual journey, let's change it to energy so it can make more sense and bring it down to earth. And just like we're saying, everything is energy, and as we're on this path, we want to get the highest quality energy, not just on our physical body as we're raising our frequency and vibration. They tell us in science that all physical matter has an electromagnetic field around it. In our electromagnetic field, we got an equipment that can see it coming off of the human body. And it changes on our thought process, everything we put in our body. And guess what? Everything we put on our body. It changes the frequency coming off the body. So when you're on this journey and you want to start going to a higher frequency, a practitioner will start finding out that clothes make a difference. Big time. What it's made out of, your pores breathe because you're breathing with your whole body, especially when you start becoming a practitioner, tapping into breath work. There's some clothes that, well, how should I say it? Let's take jewelry, for instance, because we're putting that into it also. One time when I first got into really learning on changing my frequency, my neck was hurt one time, and I didn't understand why. But when I took the necklace off, it didn't hurt no more. And then somebody had to tell me because the necklace I had on was at a lower quality. You need something that can conduct the electrons or energy a lot better. So that's why people do talk about copper, wearing copper jewelry, different things dealing with silver, gold. All of those are good conductors of energy. So our body is made of carbon. We're carbon-based beings, basically. So as we're running these energies, it makes a difference on an energy flow of the clothes you're wearing.
Yes, and I love that you mentioned about the jewelry because I have actually purchased jewelry or had it purchased for me, and I received it and I held it, and it doesn't feel good because I'm keeping up the energy of the artist.
Right.
Or if it has a stone in it, the stone could just really make me feel off. And what I found is it actually needs to be energetically cleansed, which you can do by holding it and raising your vibration, and then the lower energies lift. So with jewelry and stones and things like that, definitely holds energy for sure, and it will affect your whole body.
Now, and I want people to really feel this now. Now, on one level, they say in religious circles that we are the temple of God. Okay, we got that part. But then, just say, for instance, in your household, if some of you actually did it before or have it now, you made an altar within your house. Now, I'm here in India right now where altars is in a lot of people's houses. And that's an area where people put a good energy at, kind of make it sacred. It could be a sacred space in your home, where you kind of do your devotionals or prayers or meditations. So when you start taking that more into, and to go back to that, when people are decorating their altars, everybody got a story to tell on how they decorated their altar. They got things there that mean something. It could be an elder, it could be certain pictures, it could be certain crystals. Everything that puts a good conductivity of energy there in order to make their altar. And so if your body's this altar, like for instance, I got the crystals on, I got the tiger's eye here. These was given as gifts on some of my travels, but they hold a good energy. I got the copper bracelets, and it does, like we said, it actually changes the frequency that goes off your body when you got these type of things on. And even magnets, hematite and stuff like that, that's going into those levels. So when you start getting more knowledge on what holds a good energy, even what people deal with their the color of their crystal and stuff like that, your earth, your birthstone and stuff, all of that actually brings the energy. They're subtle. That's the thing about it. So if a person's not into this subtle stuff right now, they'll have a hard time wrapping their head around it. But like we said, when you're on this path and you start wanting to really get an understanding, start applying wisdom on your journey, you'll find out that clothes also brings health to the body. And we're going to get deeper and deeper.
Exactly. And I've noticed this a long time ago when I started to really deepen my spiritual life. I've always been spiritual, right? So I've been meditating since I was a child. However,
Right.
I didn't always live a spiritual life. So when I was younger, in my 20s, I was very much into money and acquisition, having the right job, and I worked in corporate, right? And
Right.
there was a lot of suits and pants and heels and jewelry and the nails, you know what I mean? It's the whole office look. And
Right.
I hit a point in my life actually where I lost everything. And that was in the United States when a lot of the homes were crashing and a lot of people lost their homes. And I was one of those people. And when I lost everything, I began to really reevaluate my entire life. And I'm actually mentioning this for a couple of reasons. One, because we're in a place now globally where people are losing businesses, homes, you've lost money, things like that due to COVID. And you can actually take this time to reinvent yourself in your life. And that's exactly what I did. And I took a step back and I knew, even though I was dealing with the loss of everything, I knew that where I was going was not in alignment with my higher path. And that's when I moved into being a Reiki practitioner and moving more into the energy world. So during that time, I started to really notice the clothes I was wearing. And I found that I would wear long, flowy skirts because I never wore those at work. I always wear them pants. And I noticed it made me feel more free and flowy and feminine and natural. And I loved the way it made me feel energetically. Just that alone made a big difference.
And there's a good friend of mine. Now, this is what she said. She said when she changed her clothes to be more, how should I say, casual, but flowing and stuff like this, she said it actually brought a different level of respect from the opposite sex. And she loved that when she brought on that challenge to how she used to dress. And I heard that quite a bit. We're not saying that, to be too challenging on that, but we're just making a point here because we do shoot chords at one another. And some clothes do bring a certain type of uniform or respect into play. If we should say that, even dealing with men on what type of clothes you wear. Now, I do want to say this about clothes too that I didn't know until I really started researching into it. It's one of the biggest industries on the planet that's causing a lot of pollution. Wow. One of the biggest industries on the planet that's causing a lot of pollution. Why is that? Due to what the clothes are made out of. There's a lot of synthetic clothes. They got microfibers in it that's basically made of plastic. So when people are washing their clothes and doing this, those particles are constantly coming off, going into the wash, and the average person don't know it's out of sight, out of mind. But that water has got to go somewhere. So that water is being filtered back into our oceans and everything else. And over all this time period, you actually got sea life and all these other life forms out there with all these microfibers of plastic in them. And it's terrible on how the clothes industry has polluted the planet. And I believe they put that as a number 3. And then you got the third world countries who is really cheap on producing all of these clothes. And coming into the first world countries, the first thing a person do is, I need a new shirt, due to emotional spending. Not that you need one, but you got this whole closet of 50 shirts, all these different pants, and then we're taking them, taking them out every year. And I forgot how many pounds a year it is. But the average person is going through so many clothes. I did not know that this industry was causing that much harm to the ecosystem of the planet.
Yeah, it's amazing. Not alone, not to mention all the stuff that ends up in landfill. So the clothes that have plastic are like the polyesters and things like that. And
a lot of synthetics.
Yeah,
right.
The synthetics. And not only that, it doesn't even feel good to wear.
Right.
I just feel itchy. And I realized that when I moved out of the corporate world, because it was always like stuffy clothes, and I moved and I said, I want my clothes to feel like I'm wearing pajamas all the time. I just want to be in really soft, cozy clothes. And so that's exactly the way I dress now. Is I want it to feel good on my skin. I want it to be natural. I want it to breathe. And I'm so glad you brought up the environmental impact. I am a huge fan of thrift shopping. And I think we should all be recycling our clothes, because not only is it totally cost effective, it costs just maybe $5 for a shirt or something versus 40 or 50 in the store, but then you can find really unique things you can't find in the store. I mean, it's really fun actually to thrift shop. And, you can give things away, donate, you get it. And it's just a nice way of sharing with each other instead of throwing it away and just buying these really exorbitant, items that
without a doubt,
natural,
And what it's all about is getting educated on what clothes are made out of. Like I just got some garments made. I'm here in India. And of course I was in a shop where it had all these different colorful and beautiful materials. So I got a chance to start out. But of course I wanted cotton, because cotton allows the skin to breathe. And when I was with the Hebrew community, they was talking about the cottons, the silks, the wools and stuff like that, because they was talking more of a holistic lifestyle. Linen is a big one too. It's a lot heavier than cotton. But what happens is it allows the skin to breathe. Now, when we bring that up, your skin is an organ. A lot of people don't look at their skin like that. It is the biggest organ on the body. It is doing so much work for us. It's the first defense of our immune system. And just like when we breathe in clean air, we all can agree on that. But it's just more than the impact of what your nose is breathing and what your mouth is taking in. Your whole skin is picking that up. There was a book called Intestinal Health, and it did have people where they measured it living in a polluted environment, and how their liver was actually picking it up. And it was going through not only on what they were breathing, but your skin is a good absorber of energy. See, on the Pranic breatharian path, this is one of the main things we're talking about, how it absorbs energies all around it. Even when people talk about the liquids and the water and stuff, the more mucus you get out of your system, you're living in moisture, you're living in water, but you don't know it when you're have a lot of toxicity in the body. You're not that sensitive yet. But clothes make a big difference, because the clothes will help out also on your energetic spiritual journey, because it won't get blocked off. So we just talk about those synthetics and the microfibers. Plastic is blocks energy. It's an insulator. So you got this giant insulator around your body that's really causing a lot of harm in the long run as you keep going. A lot of people are not thinking about this. So again, like you said, even wearing tight clothes like that, restricting blood flow on some of the vessels and stuff. You do want something more flowing when you're dealing on the energetic levels. Like we said, it's a subtle energy, but when you start getting into it and living this lifestyle, you live in a meditative lifestyle, that subtle energy start becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. That's why you call it energy cultivation. So right now I could put on a certain jewelry or certain clothes, and I could feel it right off the bat that this energy don't feel right.
Yeah, exactly. And if you do buy new clothes, please wash it first, because they're all sprayed with chemicals, all of them. Doesn't matter what you're buying. So wash it in hopefully a natural detergent. And for the ladies who are wearing bras with underwire, that actually pinches the lymphatic system. And one of the things to do to keep your breasts healthy in women who are dealing with breast cancer is to go under wireless. And there's a lot of really good healthy bras that you can use now that are supportive, that don't have any underwire. So that's just a little note for the ladies out there.
Right.
Wear things that are loose, supportive, comfortable, and healthy. Wash it first, make sure it's clean. And if you can, find garments that are made out of organic material, because you're getting what's been sprayed on the cotton, for example, on your skin. So if you can find organic cotton, that's the best, or hemp, things like that.
Oh yeah, we got so much challenge and stuff that you can wear out here now, that just like on the food, like when we was talking about people living alone, the dental foods, which is meats. Right now we're in an age, you got so many different choices where you don't need to go there. So even dealing with the clothes, we got so many choices where you don't have to rut. Big clothes is going to compromise your health. And then again, you might have said, well, dealing with styles and stuff like that, we're in an age also where you can, you can invest and get your clothes made. And because one thing about it too, when you're on the spiritual journey, when I'm finding out, I'm more of a minimalist, but this put me into that after a while, because if you're going to wear some clothes, wear something that's healthy, and you don't need a lot of them. Get something you're comfortable with, and that's what it's all about. And once you start being in that healthy state, you just don't want to go any old type of way, because what we're saying is, oh, I'm going to bring this up. Clothes is like nutrition.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, so I mentioned I like to thrift, and obviously you're not always going to find organic cotton perfect materials in thrift stores. So I find fun pieces that I like. They're comfortable and they're cotton, and I save a lot of money doing that. And then if I want to kind of splurge on a really nice piece that's organic and all of that, I'll do that. So it's keep it balanced, and just be really mindful when you are buying clothes, and pay attention how they feel to you energetically. Like you might really notice that there's a particular color that you're being drawn to. The colors that you wear really activate your chakras and activate your energy in certain ways.
Oh, absolutely.
So even when you're looking at your closet and you're getting ready to get dressed for that day, choose your clothes based on how you feel. Like, what do you feel like wearing? What do you want to feel like that day? Is there an item in your closet that reminds you of a bad time in your life and maybe you should get rid of it? Or is there an item that makes you feel amazing when you wear and you want to wear it more often, that kind of thing? So really tune in as you choose your clothes.
Oh, without a doubt. And clothes speak a language within themselves. When people first see you, the first thing they're going to see is what they see with their eyes. That's just the way it is. And when I was a minister in the church way back in the day, I had to learn public speaking and stuff like that. And they did go into a section talking about, if you're talking to a group of people, what will you wear? What color will you wear? And then it went even deeper, in my own studies, even the day of the week of what time you wear the clothes. I mean, it just went so far. Because like we say, every day of the week has a color to go to it. The 7 days of the week, the 7 colors of the rainbow. So it even went into that. What is your favorite color of when you were born and stuff like that? And I actually tried that psychology. And because there is a thing called higher level marketing. And in higher level marketing, when you look at a vending machine, notice that there's certain colors that they use that will attract the person's attention. All this goes with it, it is actually real. It's subtle, but if the marketers is using it, the advertisers is using it, you are also can use that same knowledge to highlight your energy, to carry on a better frequency. And I like how you said earlier about washing your clothes before you even wear them, because there's even knowledge about who makes your clothes, where it comes from. Because that energy is going into it, but that's going to a whole nother level right there. Because even when I was around here in India getting my clothes made, there were certain people I was going to buy the material from and certain tailors I was talking to, but I ended up rotating to the people made a difference on their energy that was coming off of them, that where I went. It wasn't about the price, it wasn't about this, it was the energy of the people, and I got the right places.
And material holds energy. Everything holds energy. I have this beautiful tapestry that was given to me. A friend of mine went to India and she got these tapestries that apparently were wrapped around deities that were prayed to in the temples. And
Right.
yes, I'm not sure, I don't know the custom, maybe once a year it was replaced. So she was able to bring these back to the United States. Normally they were just put in the Ganges, I believe, but she was given the permission to bring them back and she handed them out to some of her friends. And when you are close to this material, oh my gosh, the energy is so strong. It just begins to meditate you. It is powerful.
Right.
So just knowing that, I mean, you can, if you really want to, if you have certain clothing that you use for ceremony, that you use for prayer, that's going to be embedded in the material.
Right.
Think about that and how you can influence your clothes.
And this is the energy path again. Like you said, everything holds energy. So your clothes that you wear is going to start holding your energy, your personality. That's why I said this journey is so good. The longer you be on it, the more you start saying, like even if this don't mean nothing to you right now, if you're new to this, over a period of time, it will click as you keep on working on your frequency, working on your energy, praying over the clothes, meditating with them. All of this energy is going into that clothes that you're wearing.
Yeah.
You can have so much fun.
Yeah, and then you also have the psychological component. So if you have one outfit, let's say that you wore into the forest and you just had the best day and you're frolicking, you're like, wee! And then when you look at that outfit another time, you're going to remember that amazing time that you had in that outfit and it'll bring you joy, right? So we do have psychological connections too.
Big time.
Yeah, and the same.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I'll tell you what. Psychological wise, I do got to say this. When I was in America, we was at this big holistic health event. And I was teaching a breatharian message that day, but at the same time, I had this booth selling alive and raw foods and all this other stuff. My booth always sold out, blah, blah, blah. This one guy said, well, the reason why you sell out is because how you look, the way you dress. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That was a big thing he said. Now, he told me that then. Then one day, this was like 15 years later, if not 20, I'm in the Canary Islands and I'm doing these healings and stuff. And this other guy said, well, it's the way you look and the way you dress is causing a big thing of why people come to you more than the other people. So even the clothing there, because I'm so much into it, I guess I did have that wizard look. I do got to say it for myself. And that's what people, sometimes it's a psychological component. It highlights everything. Oh my gosh. But it does go with the territory. So that's why when you do see people in spiritual circles, they start getting into the symbolisms of ants or the flower of life. You'll see this more and more in spiritual circles where people start coming into this because all of those things do give off the energy. It does attract people. It tells them knowledge that's taking place.
Right. It's true. I mean, people will judge you based on how you look first. And this reminds me when I was a young woman in my 20s, you know, I used to dress with like lower cut shirts and like little mini skirts and all of that, right? And what I found was I was drawing the wrong attention to me and that people weren't looking at me and my soul and my spirit. And I actually changed that over time. And you really have to think about when you're dressing, what do you want to project? You know, I mean, if you want the respect to the business person, you wear a business suit, right? If you want to be free flowing and people to feel you as a free flowing person, then dress that way. If you want people to respect you, but also think of you as a spiritual person, you know, be a little discreet in the way you dress. You know, you can bring a lot of respect and attention to you in the right way, which is what you prefer anyway, right? Because we want to honor our higher self. So always think, what is in alignment with my higher self? And you always want to dress for the job that you want, not the job you have. That's what they say. So if you want a more spiritual life, think about dressing more spiritually. You know, what is that?
Oh, absolutely.
The colors, the jewelry, the beautiful stones. I have a Larimar right here that I love. And, you know, pick the things that you adorn yourself with that make you feel really good. Really
good. Absolutely. And you said the key words. I know sometimes people say, well, I don't care what people think of me, and la, 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 la. But as you start growing, now you don't have to, but there is a day where you should think about, and there's a word I'm going to use called idiosyncrasies. And some of your idiosyncrasies or your habits, what you can do is start straightening them up. You don't have to, but you can. And it will make a slight difference, you understand, on what type of energies you want to attract to you. Because I like when you said that you can dress a certain way or do certain things where it will give you attention, but it'll attract the wrong type of frequencies to you. And that's what we call the idiosyncrasies. Like, you don't have to change it, but it just makes it a different changeover, big time, if you take on that challenge and see how it goes. And I got some friends right now who's going through that where they're weighing it on what type of frequencies they're attracted to them, especially dealing on an energetic level. Because like I said, we are shooting chords at one another. Chords are basically, as soon as you look at somebody or send a thought to them, that thought form is actually attaching to you. And it could be negative or positive. It doesn't matter. We're energy beings, so we're all in this web, you know, shooting these chords at each other. Now, on one level, you can't stop it, but you understand. That's why I tell people to take energy showers after they meditate and get certain chords off of them of negativity. The person don't even have to know you. They can look at your picture and do that. But if you're purposely putting the wrong attention out there through clothes and stuff, then you can get those chords, and they do affect you over time because, like I said, we're so connected that this is what we do to each other constantly. So that's why when you're on your spiritual path, controlling your thoughts means a lot. You can't control nobody else's, but what am I going to do and what I'm going to project makes the difference. And this is what it's all about, Toby. So our clothes speaks a language. It's telling our consciousness, and it's showing how we're growing. This means a lot on the spiritual journey.
Yeah, and being more conscious of it, because not only do your clothes elicit a certain response from others, it actually creates a response from within yourself that you may not even be conscious of. So
right.
when I was younger and I would dress that way, or if I'd put on like let's say a ball gown or a sexy dress, then all of a sudden my energy was like, I stood up taller and I was like, oh, look at me. You know what I mean? You kind of have more of that energy about you because you're all dolled up, right? So
right.
That's an energy that you're projecting and you may not even realize it, versus if
right.
you're just in yoga pants and a tank top and you're more relaxed, you're going to hold a different energy, right? So what you're wearing changes the energy of your body based on the way you feel when you're in those clothes, and then other people around you will subtly pick that up. So not only are they responding to the way you look, but they are responding to the energy that you're emanating.
Oh, absolutely. And it's all about energy again. I remember Nikolai Tesla said, what? Energy, vibration, and frequency, if you want to know the universe. And this is all what we're talking about in a nutshell. So even on our outer covering, dealing with clothes, goes with the whole package, because if you're wearing it, it just became part of your matrix. It became part of your house that you're conducting, your body. And like we said, not only what it's made out of and all this other stuff, how you're dressing it, how you're carrying it, that's like your uniform.
Yeah.
That people will know you by.
Yeah. And when you become more spiritual or on that spiritual path, for me, that is a state of peace and calm, balance, harmony, love, compassion. So I like to wear things that just make me feel all of that. You know,
oh, absolutely.
Your clothes may or may not make you feel all of that, but at least support you feeling all of that, where you can just feel comfortable and calm in your body, very comfortable.
Right.
And also playful too. I have a lot of playful things because I'm a playful person. So you want to have fun and kind of experiment with different styles and colors that make you just happy.
Oh, absolutely. And keep in mind that there's certain places for certain things. Now, I know some people will say, well, I should be able to wear anything. The other person shouldn't be thinking like that. But there's a scripture too that says, do not be a stumbling block for somebody else. Do not be a stumbling block for another saint. Be aware too that everybody else is you and everybody else is dealing with different things that they're dealing with. So when y'all all do come together when you're on these levels, you at least want to help people with their spiritual growth too by not making them fall up or stumble up. It's sort of like dealing with food. There was something where a woman, before she go work with somebody's food habits, she have to talk to the people around them, their family, to don't do things that'll make them stumble up. Now, for us to talk about this too in this day of age, sex always been a big one. We might as well say it. But due to technology of how it risen, the porn industry is really big. So that makes it even bigger. They even got groups of people who are detoxifying off of that. So even when you're on a spiritual journey and one will take on, well, I can dress any old type of way, they shouldn't be thinking like that, but that's still projecting the energy that others probably are really trying to do something and you're making them trip up. So it just becomes a mess. So you're being mindful too of others as we're on this journey. And that's okay. We're all growing together.
Yeah, we're all growing. So take a look at your wardrobes. Take a look at the way you feel when you're in your clothes. And think about picking up some pieces that you really love that make you feel like you want to go, you know, in the direction you want to go in your life, including the jewelry too. And let's talk about what we put on our skin and what we put on our bodies a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think that's also important.
Well, like a holistic practitioner would tell you, they would say, do not put nothing on your skin that you won't eat. And we're in this age now where you can go into like some stores and pick up some products like different lotions and hair greases, and you can't even read the words on them. You know, the different chemicals. They say, if you don't know what it means and can't pronounce it, don't do it. And then you'll find out when you get deeper in the game. So I was at this holistic fair one time with somebody, and I met quite a few people who actually worked for big companies who worked in a chemistry. That's what it's dealing with. And chemistry is making different fragrances or how it should taste and how it should smell and stuff. And it ain't got nothing to do with all natural. And some things, like we said, if you can't eat it, when you put that on your skin, it's going into your bloodstream without a shadow of a doubt.
Yes, so, yes, immediately, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this means a whole lot because I even gave some cheaters one time on being on a Pranic journey. Like some people will say, well, how about, you know, if your body's doing this? And I gave them cheaters by saying, well, you could get different like nut oils and stuff and put it on your skin and it'll absorb it to your blood. And your body, it don't care where it got it from. It know it got that energy. So that can help boost your energy. Those are kind of hacks for the body computer. You can actually feed yourself through your skin. Now, we're talking on a positive level, but on a negative level, there's been spy groups and everything else on the planet making assassinations through the skin. As soon as somebody puts something on them, the poison will go into their skin and kill them. So vice versa, you can nourish yourself through the skin. Nothing new about it.
Be very mindful of your products. For example, I had a friend once who got a sunburn and he thought, oh, I'm going to go get some aloe vera. So he went to the store and he bought aloe vera. And when he looked at the back, it was all this stuff. And at the very bottom, the last ingredient was like one little bit of aloe vera. You know, it was like,
right.
You know, we have an aloe vera plant in the back. Why don't you just grab one of those leaves and put it directly on,
right.
You know? But that's just an example. There's so much junk in the lotions and stuff that we use, and it goes right on the skin. So please, if you're going to buy a lotion, make sure it's all natural. It's better to make your own. But you mentioned the oils and how you can absorb. There's an Ayurvedic practice where you can actually rub sesame oil, non-toasted, of course, so you'll smell like a toasted sesame, but sesame oil on your skin, and you will absorb the magnesium from the sesame oil, and it will make your whole body relax. Try it sometime. Take a nice hot shower at night, put it all over your body, and you will feel so sleepy and just cozy, and you'll get a good night's sleep. So that's a really good way of absorbing. Coconut oil is another nice one to put on your body if you want to.
Right, there's so many out there that you can take to really help.
Yeah, absolutely. Do be mindful though if you put oil on before you go in the sun, because that could, cause premature
Right.
aging and some damage. So be mindful of
So
that.
that's what it's all about now. So what we're saying in a nutshell, your skin is your biggest organ. And it's doing so much. It's dealing with all the frequencies externally from us. But guess what? Your skin is connected to all of your organs inside of you. That's how important it is. So what you put on it, whether if it's on the skin, rubbing things on it, and what you wear will really help out with your health. A lot of people don't even think on that level. It will help out with your health big time.
I also want to mention what you put in your mouth, even if you don't swallow it, like toothpaste and mouthwash.
Right.
Because there are some, I love to cook. So there are sometimes I'm cooking and I'm not eating what I'm cooking, but I do taste it. So what I'll do is I'll taste it and then I'll kind of just spit it out and rinse my mouth out with water because I don't really want to eat it. But just that has taught me a really interesting lesson. Even though it's in my mouth, maybe just for a couple of seconds while I taste it and then it goes out, I am left with the flavor and the feeling. It feels in my body as if I've actually swallowed and eaten the food. And I haven't. I just held it in my mouth and my saliva took it and it took it right into my bloodstream. So that right there teaches me that whatever you put in your mouth goes directly into your bloodstream. This is why the sublingual, when you put a pill underneath your tongue, like B12 or something, you can absorb it. So pay attention to the toothpaste you buy. There's a lot of mainstream toothpaste out there that says if you ingest this, call, the quality, what do you call it, poison control. Think about that. Why would you put a toothpaste in your mouth that's poisonous? Your body's absorbing that. So please, buy all natural or make your own. I make my own. Just be mindful.
Right. Yeah. And see, in a nutshell, what we're saying, now this telling us about the pranic journey. If people can hear what we're saying, your body is a good absorber. It's excellent. It absorbs everything. So they already gave us a hint when they said, oh, your body absorbs vitamin D from the sun. Well, if it can do that, it's doing so much. It absorbs water. It absorbs vitamin C. It absorbs vitamin D. It could do all types of things. So with your attention, with all these frequencies, we're already talking on a chemical level. That's why we talk about photosynthesis on plants. But a lot of people is not paying attention what that word means. We've been doing photosynthesis for a long time. And they got the biggest center of South America right now that's actually doing research with photosynthesis. And it's amazing on the stuff that you can look up and you'll really find dealing with human photosynthesis of what we can do on the human body. And they just scratching the surface. So that's why, if anything, this means so much sense on what we're saying about how we're dressing, what we're putting in our body, what we're putting in our mouth. Your body picks up information because that's what it does. It's full of memory. So that's why even when we talk about the breatharian journey, you're unleashing some of those past traumas and past memories. So, because it's going to pick up new stuff, but you want to pick up the right stuff, the right path, the right memories now, and get those old memories off or redirect the energies, because that's what it's all about again.
Yeah, it's amazing, because we're talking about jewelry and clothes and oils and things like that, but the light, we obviously are absorbing prana. We're obviously absorbing different light frequencies all the time, and all the time, and all of that. So if you're going to wear anything, wear that.
Right. The sun, even at night, now where I'm at here is nighttime. And my body right now, I feel it pulling energy. So it's not like just because the sun is not being seen that's where it's at. You also got the lunar frequencies, if we want to call it that. But we're still in the electromagnetic field of the sun. It's not like things stop. Energy flow is taking place. And this is the time, too, at nighttime is when a person naturally goes to sleep. Your body's healing itself. You just went into a meditation. So all of this is taking place, and we're just getting more sensitive to it. So if you understand that there's energy flowing again, you want to do everything in your power not to block that energy. Like we said, there's some clothes, the way they're made with the oils and the different microbes dealing with the plastics and all these other synthetics. I mean, it's amazing on how those can either block energies or get a better energy flow going through the body altogether.
Right. And I can't influence enough how much your emotional connection to something can also block your energy. So if you have an item that doesn't make you feel good or that reminds you of something or someone or a time in your life or whatever it is, get rid of it. Donate it forward. You know, someone else will probably love it, but you should only have and wear things that you love, that you absolutely love. My mother used to tell me, because we used to go clothes shopping all together all the time, and she used to always say, don't buy it unless you love it. Love it. Not just, oh, this looks okay, but you love it. That's what you should be wearing.
Oh, absolutely. And that right there is a frequency. I love wearing this shirt. I love wearing this pants. It just opens your heart.
And this path is all about opening your heart. It really is. It's about becoming more loving and joyous in every possible way.
And you don't need a lot of them, but just something that you love.
Yeah.
That makes the difference. Oh my gosh.
The thing is, we find that most people only wear a handful of clothes all the time anyway, and you have all these clothes in your closet you don't wear. And you notice it like when you go on vacation, you pull out your suitcase and you're like, oh, I'll wear this and this, and you pull out all these things that you haven't worn in a while. You put it in your suitcase, and then you go on your vacation, you realize, gee, I didn't wear like 75% of what I packed. Because the reality is you only wear a certain amount of clothes. So kind of think about whittling down what you have to just your favorites, the things you really do only want to wear.
Oh, absolutely. And like we're saying, gotta kick in even more, like especially as we're talking about these energetic levels. And this is a good journey to be on. That's all we can say on that one.
It is. It's beautiful. Now, Elitom, you got some new clothes recently.
Right.
I know you got.
I got a total of 8 outfits. That did go over what I wanted. But I got the 8 for right now. It is all clothes that I really love. I got them all tailor-made. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to start wearing, my new look. And I've thought about the colors. I want all of this. This is part of my journey. But the main thing is the material it's made out of. You know, I got them all cotton. The people who made it, and all this other good stuff. And I am so happy because that's my look, what I want to do. The love is in it. And even the people who know me, they know that that's my look. So that's it.
Good.
This is wonderful.
Yay. Great.
Something I always thought about. And this is what came about. So hopefully you can have fun with this too. Clothes is a big thing again. It's like your nourishment, your food, and it's telling your story.
That's right. Yeah. Who are you? Who do you want to be? What do you want to look like? What do you really want to look like? You know, and you may not, you might experiment with different styles, you know, and you'll know when you put on a piece of clothing and it doesn't quite match your essence, you know, and when you find that look that matches your essence and matches your true spirit, then that's, you know, you've hit it. That right there is spiritual clothing. That's
you know you hit it. It's talking to you.
Right.
It just called me. It's talking to you. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Everything going together. There's no coincidence.
Beautiful. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for this time. Is there anything else you want to say about clothing?
Oh, this is so awesome.
You did it?
This is it. We are the altar. That's how you got to look at yourself. This is holy, sacred. It's your body. It's your life. So decorate it swell.
Perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. Yes, you are your own altar. Cherish yourself and your body. I love that. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching today. We love you so much. Mwah. And have a beautiful day. Wear something that you love.
Namaste. Love you.
And one more thing that Elitom wanted to share.
Oh, yeah. Now, if you're on a journey right now dealing with your clothes, building your human altar, tell us some of your experiments in the comments. Tell us about your journey. You know, make it nice and short in a few sentences of where you at, how you feel, or if you're planning on doing it, you know, share. And this is good. We would like to hear.
Yeah, we love hearing from you. So share and drop questions if you have any. And thanks for watching.
Voila.